Is this the place with the story about that guy named Stanley? I think that's this place. That's this place, right? All right. Well, we're to start with this because I think the achievement. I don't know. I saw it when I was. Did I get the achievement? Please enter the current. It is. Oh, shit. It is once again 206.
What the hell?
You heard me. It's gonna be 207 by the time I do this. 207. Hang on. Wait, what? Wait, I'm sorry. Yeah, sure. Sometimes you boot up the game, sure.
I will send you to Jesus.
Oh, my bad. A lot of people don't take that so they just leave the clock set at 12 and call it a night. Yeah, no, that's me, but you're actually taking the time to set the clock, and I appreciate that. That's how I know that you care about this experience. You're paying attention. I don't even have any way of knowing if the times you're setting are correct. Tell you what, I'll make you a deal. What? Because you've been so cooperative, next time you boot up the game and set the see the screen, just set the clock to your favorite time. Go ahead, pick whatever time you want, even if it's not the correct time. You've earned it. Alright, I'll let you get back to the video game now. I mean, I have to set it to my favorite, like, a different time now, right? Like, now I have to. What time should I go with? I mean, I know what time I want to go with. Hey, Jasper, how'd you know? We're gonna go, oh, shit, that's like it actually like makes sense, wow. Yeah, Jasper, same brain, Wes, same brain. Looking forward to it, yep, my favorite time of day. How'd you know? Give me the correct, yeah, that's the correct time, yep. Yeah. Use another slider to find out how accurate, oh, it's so accurate. I love it. You're like, I'm like, more about you. How you like things you say. It's good to collect data. I wish we had more sliders, but we got through all the sliders I have. Perhaps I can invent some new sliders that gather new data on you. Shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, let me whip up a couple new ones up. Should be ready by the next time you boot up the game. Well, I guess we're playing a game before we even play the game. We're playing a different game. A saw, Philip. It's just a slider until the computer is barely visible. We'll do it. We'll do it like here again. It's just a slider until the cat and dog are friends. I think one heart. They're not like best friends. They said friends. The number 5 becomes the number 9. I'm gonna be really technical. Where was it? 9. This is a slider until you stop adjusting the slider. Here. Wow, that was actually almost perfect. Which of the two made-up words below is most appealing to you? Akiboinkle or Scrumtush? I hate Scrum, so we're Akiboinkle. Please don't adjust the slider. I'm not touching it. Slider's not touched. You know what time it is right now. We're not making the narrative sad today. Yeah. Is the time that it is right now the correct time? No. Wrong. What time? What is time, anyways? Yeah. Anything about yourself you haven't told me? No. Help. Yes. I will help. You come back to visit me? Yes. I'm gonna come back to visit you right now. We're not even playing Stanley Parable. We're talking with the main menu. We're talking with the main menu being at this point. What time is it? Does anyone truly know? Of course they don't. Nobody knows anything. You and I don't even know each other. We're like strangers. I'm just all the game settings to exact specifications, but who has it? And now the job is over. There's no more information from me. I've collected all the data on you that I can, and I still don't really know you. And you don't know me. And neither of us know what time it is. I guess some subjects are just unsettable. But if I'm being totally honest, the clock doesn't do anything in the game anyways. You won't have me here when the game starts next time, but that's okay. No, he's leaving us! Video games are meant to be played alone. You like being alone, don't you? I hate people, so... That's maybe the only information I really learned about you. Well, it's time for me to leave. No! We know, but it may take a little time before I'm ready for that. It's not really my job description, but that's okay. Perhaps you see me again if you can find me. Talk soon. No, he's gone. All right. We've already seen this. All right. Oh,
His co-workers.
welcome back. There we go.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Where is it? Where was it? Did I miss it? Let's get an achievement real quick. I think it's...
Oh, please. Are you really just doing
Yes.
this for the achievement?
Okay,
Click a
what's the
door 5
next...
times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't
Time
just
to-
give these
time to
merits
start.
away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks.
Yep.
Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition. I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause.
I love
Perhaps
it.
50 clicks will do it.
All
Yes,
right.
almost certainly 50 clicks. No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant
Get well
something. It has to be
someday,
a
Jet.
true reward
Chat,
for valiant
I hope you
effort.
get
I want
well
to see some
someday.
hustle, Stanley.
Yeah.
I want to see commitment.
Yeah.
A willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
Dismantle mines, yes. Or you die.
I'm scared. You said 417, right?
Stanley, pick up the bucket.
No! I'm working on my achievement!
Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437.
Swear to God, if you just cockblocked me. Where's 437?
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
I swear to God. Here, do I have to pick up your fucking bucket? Here.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Where's 415?
Now, back to door number 437.
I've got your stupid bucket. You happy?
You know, I think the copy machine needs some attention. All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere. Okay, now bring the bucket on top of employee 419's desk. Yes, this is great. Now the bucket knows exactly what it's like to be employee 419. Now, let's introduce it to door 416. We've almost got it. Now make the bucket and the copy machine touch again.
Kiss.
Finish it off, Stanley. 5 touches of the bucket on door 430. Yes! We did it!
We did it!
That felt amazing.
We did it!
Well, not all buckets will get this kind of experience.
Woo!
They won't all know what it's like to slam repeatedly against nearly every door in one section of an office building, or what it's like to be employee 419.
I'll let him finish
Buckets may
talking.
dream of an
Where's my
experience like this,
skip
but few
button?
can say they've truly
Oh, it's not an Oni.
given a bucket hope today.
Yo, he's being pretty
Stanley,
preachy. I need a
I'm
skip
very
button.
proud of you.
I need a skip button for this preachiness.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly
Yes,
to his
we'll go
chest
this way.
and entered the door on his left.
I'm gonna show the bucket my favorite ending. Okay. This is the trust the completionist instinct. Alright. A large room with lots of... We saw that one yesterday. That's by the cargo lift. That's the boss's office or the bathroom. Okay, I know where all of these are, I think. Okay.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The
What?
broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the
It's my
pressure the
bucket.
broom closet
Don't
is putting
take
on your
it.
shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket.
It's
This is
mine.
your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over.
I won't. It's mine.
The name calling now, it seems.
Oh.
This is how low the broom closet has sunk
Man,
that
my
it has to resort to this
my
stream of
don't you
insults
dare
simply
slander
in
my
order to get you
favorite
to hand
ending.
over the bucket. Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons.
It's not
None of it
concerning
worse
that this
than
is
I
my
had
favorite
imagined.
ending, I assure you.
Wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your
Wow.
relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your
Wow.
life is so banal and meaningless
So
that
banal?
you feel
That's
the
like
same
dour.
sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I'd never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years.
Yeah.
Let him have it.
Yeah. You get hacked room closet. This is my bucket.
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all.
Wait, really?
Here we go.
Yo!
Now it's settled.
The bucket
No more
got
debate,
stickered.
No more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet. with
my
all your
bucket.
meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order
My
of things.
bucket, sir. See? My bucket.
All right, I've got a second sticker back here,
I was
and I'm going
wondering
to
if you
snap it
just-
on as well because I think it's appropriate.
What do we got?
See, I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket.
It's a bucket.
That
Yep.
way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself,
This is a bucket,
it's
yes.
a bucket.
Yeah, it's a
There really
bucket.
is a wide variety of applications for this sticker.
There any more stickers?
You know what? I could take the name calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us the silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display.
Okay.
You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
I guess he's done. Okay. So...
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket
Down
walked
here is a
upstairs to the boss's
collectible?
office.
Yeah!
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini stands?
Yo, mini stands?
Stanley figs. Or What about Stanlerines?
Yeah,
Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
I'm not a fan of Stan Marines. Alright, let's go to the boss's office. We're like... Oh, wait, this way. Aha!
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines.
2 for
And
1.
now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies.
Figlies?
What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the
Figlies.
intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1?
That's a pretty big number.
I'm sure it will come.
Let's
to
be
me.
honest, that's like a pretty sizable chunk of my screen up there. Alright, is he still mad? Oh, he's not.
Stepping into
Okay,
the manager's
let's
office,
make him mad.
Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any
Oh,
human
fuck.
life.
We fucked it up.
Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
Yeah, we
Was
did.
it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Alright, let's go down here.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate.
Oh no.
It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Alright, let's go with the bucket.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Yep.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
I really want to jump off with the bucket, but maybe we'll do that later. Alright, where's Employee
Monitors
Pirate?
jumped to life,
They're like over
and
here,
Stanley
right?
nearly
Employee
dropped the bucket in
Pirate!
shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs.
Our smile.
The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's
I'm not gonna
influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do?
That's me.
What kinds of things does a bucket want to do?
How
to do in the
did
first
I
place?
know?
These questions were
Did I
furiously in
know?
Stanley's feeble mind.
I just...
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it.
no, this
His
game too
own
much.
life in someone else's control.
Bye, Employee
Never.
Pirate.
He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
I trust the bucket.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket,
Skip.
up against the world.
I'm kidding.
They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking
Yeah, we're taking
the
down the system. Oh,
But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls.
Gasp.
Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds.
silly
birds.
birds.
The control buttons became active again. Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was
Silly
a facility for
birds.
monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade
How
to
many
disguise
silly
its true
birds are there?
intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery.
Okay, we're
Stanley
back.
and the bucket never found freedom.
Where are
because
the
they spent the
penguins?
rest of their
We like the
lives here in
penguins.
this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
Silly birds. All right.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Does he not? Hold on. Does he not like my bumpscosity? Is it too much? There we go.
Stanley
Gotta
decided
make
to
sure I
go
have
to the
enough
meeting room.
bumpscosity.
Perhaps he had simply missed. Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
What do we have left? Oh, red and blue.
Stanley
We'll go
clutched
to
the
red and blue.
bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee
Oh,
lounge
yeah.
was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out
Nope.
to be correct? No, never mind.
Bucket was
Bucket
wrong.
wrong.
Yep.
Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
What if I don't?
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The
Philip.
cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift. Good.
Said the bucket.
There's the
Now ride the
Figley.
lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
You get Kevin, now
Stanley
you're
did
right.
not question why or how this
You think
bucket
you
was
know
stopped.
a guy.
It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not
Also, why would you be ratting Destiny 2? Like, what the fuck is... I'll see myself out.
to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Am I gonna be able to... What is the blue and red with these?
No, stop.
What?
Look there on the wall. You see? There's a
God
sign right
damn
there. It says, no
Why'd I
buckets
pick up the
past this
bucket?
point." Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring
Oh, I'm so sorry, narrator.
the bucket
Sorry.
here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket?
I'm pretty sure I know
that
what
would
buckets
explain a
are.
lot about your behavior up to this point, which, if
You
not
not stand on this
well,
side of
my
fence.
goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the
God.
entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly.
I need to know what buckets
So
are,
much of the
chat. Let's take
impact of
notes.
The story is dependent on your understanding of what
We need to
is
take notes
and
on buckets.
isn't a bucket. Please step in here for a moment.
What? But I want to go here. I need over here. You. Fine, I'll step into your... Is this a game show?
Now then, I'm going to run you through some
Okay.
test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin.
So I just answer wrong, right?
Item 1. Is this a bucket?
No.
Correct. It is a hologram
Oh,
of a bucket,
fuck
not
off.
an actual bucket.
What is this?
Item 2. Is this a bucket?
No.
Correct.
What?
It is a 3D
I hate it here.
version of a bucket.
I hate it here.
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
He's gonna reverse psychology me if I say no again. So I'm gonna say yes just to spite him.
Correct. This is a bucket.
God damn it.
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one.
What's next?
Is this a bucket?
This time it's not.
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
No, it's not. It's a tractor. It tills. It's a giant machine made to till the earth.
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
No.
Trick
Yep.
question. Both. Gotcha.
Fuck you. How is that both?
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere. Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know
Nothing
that
is a bucket.
is something, and therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket?
Yes.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket?
We're all buckets.
Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and
What?
myself was all
I
over
can't
the
say
place.
no.
I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship
Wait,
apart.
the buttons
I
didn't
can't
work.
have that. I'm sorry, but I'm going to erase all buckets from the
No!
game entirely.
My bucket.
Okay, here we go.
What the hell? Why'd you
What
take my
happened?
bucket?
Is everything
Wait,
gone?
I thought you
Why
just
did
shut the
everything
lights up.
disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could...
Why is everything a
It's me.
bucket?
I'm not a bucket after all.
Oh,
and you,
damn it.
Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets.
We're not
I actually feel
buckets.
much more
Let's
at ease
go.
right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue.
We're all
but it doesn't
buckets.
change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all
You're
the
not a
buckets,
bucket.
okay?
Bye,
And we'll
Jasper.
know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that.
Nothing
Who
is a
knows
bucket.
what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
Okay, so don't pick it up if I want to get the blue door thing. Got it.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Fuck you.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Can I get my new content back?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Nope.
Wow. Yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust
Hold
in
on.
someone else can be difficult,
Relax.
but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone...
Whoa, really?
Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. You're getting close now, Stanley.
I just gotta get the box one. The Figlet Inn. I hate it.
And then the first number
Yo, the first one was good for the second over. Let's
We'll
go.
be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them. And now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can.
Alright, well, we're gonna go through the blue door a couple times.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Fine.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. You see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time. The problem
Which
is all these
ending is
choices.
this?
The two of us always try
I
and
don't
get somewhere
remember
that
the
isn't
red
here.
door.
Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop.
Oh, is this ending?
We would both be so much
Oh, no.
happier if we just stopped.
I think it's
And I
this
think-
ending.
Well, I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Is it this ending?
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Sako, I'm sorry! I'm sorry!
No, wait. Where are you going? Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Oh, this is dark, man! Oh, whoa!
Good, good. We can't be too safe. Promise me you won't go back there. Just stay here. No! What do we talk about? You're risking everything we achieved here.
Oh, no!
You heard me before, didn't you? You will die.
Only if it kills
what
me.
About this isn't getting through to you. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley. No!
Ow.
Oh, thank God you lived. You had me worried there for a moment.
Anyone got a splint?
Now, can we please get back to the other room? No. No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this? Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me?
Oh, my legs are like
Yes.
giga broken.
Perhaps you can. Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking about.
Oh, it's so pretty. Alright. It's so slow. What is this?
I will send you to Jesus.
Pretty much.
My God, is this really how much
Oh,
you
I'm
dislike
so
my game?
no.
That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy.
Oh,
Am I reading the situation
oh
correctly?
no. Oh, I feel terrible. It's not my fault. Wait. Uh-oh.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask.
No.
Looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
No. Oh my God, this is so sad and dark, man.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Oh no, that was dark.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Let's go get the last
Stanley
one.
decided to go to the meeting room.
I'm
Perhaps
sorry,
it's simply his dilemma.
narrator. I'm so sorry.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not.
I like bullying the narrator, but I don't like hearing him sad. I like hearing him
Stop by the
mad.
employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Oh,
The
man.
lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Oh.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Oi. You got it.
And there it is, the last Stigley
Why is it a
Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here.
We're all done.
And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
You're right. Can. We will. How to get sus.
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that. You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you? What a silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording? It was all just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely walk off the couch in pure shock at the
Wouldn't it be a monologue?
intricate
I don't
storytelling.
talk.
It must be so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights.
He's pissed.
How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do. Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.
I didn't do shit. I just got my mini stand.
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on
Fuck
things.
off.
It's those figurines. Those figures. I haven't
That
stopped thinking
actually
about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know.
Yeah, it's a
you're
Moira
supposed to be
mythic,
telling a
yep.
story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memories?
Yeah, it's a Moira
I
mythic.
would love
It looks
nothing more
cool.
than to revisit the
There's a
figurines
Cthulhu
just
Torbjorn
one
too.
more time.
Oh, we're going to the memory zone. We're back in Elden Ring. Now, before we continue, let's actually, because I'm assuming that means the trailer's out, right? Does that mean the trailer's out? Yeah, 2 hours ago. Little interruption. I haven't actually watched this. This is loud. Champions. Because of the rank rework. Yeah. Rank reset. Track your progress each game. Earn new Jade weapon. Oh! New rank champion. Okay. Solve a cosmic crisis. Ooh. Ooh. Torb. Is he Robin? Yo. Ooh, that's a good curious skin. That's interesting. Gauntlet. Yo, tower defense? Yo, Bloons tower defense? Oh, the Cupid mode is back? Is that Reaper? Oh my god. That was a shitty default. What are... Dude, this skin looks so good. Alright, back to Stanley. Honestly, I'm honestly, like, interested in the rework. Sauced, do you, since you've probably been kind of keeping up with the news on it, can you still get gold weapons, or are gold weapons getting retired and now you get jade weapons? Or can you, like, get gold weapons with a different currency and now you're earning currency for jade weapons? Like, what's going on here? Fill me in if you know, please. Okay, anyways, back to this thing. Yeah, I'm probably gonna check out.
The first collection.
I'll probably do some
Back
Overwatch.
then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain?
What's my
We were
work
so
week like
innocent.
next week?
We'll never be like that again.
Oh, I have to
Stanley.
click. I'm like trying to just walk into it. So 7 out of 6. Oh, of course I work an early shift that day. Fucking hell.
And here was the second Stan Marine.
I think
You
next
found this one
Thursday
all
is
on
gonna
your
be
own
an
just by
Overwatch
poking
stream.
around behind the boss's office. You did that.
I did do that, yeah.
I'll be honest. Back then, I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways.
I think next Thursday is gonna be an Overwatch stream. I wanna
Okay, let's
try
do a
the
little
new
quiz.
ranked
Which
stuff.
of these rooms was the room you found your third mini stand?
Technically,
Can you
it
remember?
was the stairs first, you know. Stairs first.
Hey, that's exactly right. It was here.
9 out of
stairs.
6.
It was the third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything. Let's see, what came next?
What is this
Oh,
room?
yes, we found a Figley in this pink room. Oh, well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
Nope, I don't remember that one. And then the doors, yeah.
This was the 5th mini stand, and this one was really something special. It was by the red and blue doors. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to
Oh,
commemorate
no.
the occasion. Enjoy.
Oh my god. What's that in there? It's mini stand number 5. Yo, shout out mini stand number 5. I found it near the red and blue doors. Thanks for watching. Yo, best boy the narrator.
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
Honestly, if you made that in 8 minutes, kind of impressive. Probably would have taken about a half an hour if I'm being honest. At least. Alright, what is it? Oh, the boxes. What the...
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here in the warehouse. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently
2013
than all the
YouTube
others.
video,
Who
yeah.
can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all.
We
of
got
them.
them all.
They're all
Now we have
collected. It
13
was a
out of
moment
6.
unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
Oh, I heard magic noise. Is the vent open? Oh, now we're back here. You are in the present.
And then there was no more. Because we've caught up.
This
to
is the
present
past.
Moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, Memory Zone.
Oh, bye, memory zone.
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen.
Oh.
Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines?
Oh, come on!
Go backwards. Go do the memory zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels.
We're gonna go backward.
Okay, yes. This spot in the warehouse. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct.
Wait, which one is he skipping?
Let's keep going. I want more.
He skipped the boss's office for the pink room. That's what, or the boss's bathroom. I was like, wait, we should have already had 13. No, he just took the boss's bathroom out and put a pink room in, Blue Door.
And here's where I made that video. Don't
Oh,
you remember
no.
the video we watched? Yes, I love that video.
Idiot. Yeah, this is supposed to be the bathroom.
Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley.
Yeah, no,
Still
I
no
don't.
memory of this one.
Nope.
Good room, though. A solid room.
It's a room. It is one of the rooms of all time.
These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have muted the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
Is there a rubber room perchance? I've heard it's infested with rats at the moment. Can I go over here? What's over here? Oh, it's just void. It's the boss's office one.
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing.
Not the rats?
Why does anyone
Yeah.
ever choose to leave it?
Crazy.
Keep going.
Now we're back to
This
this
is it.
one.
The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
Oh no, the fucking jump circle. Do I still have a jump?
Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally
I
sold.
had a jump!
I remember hating it back then. But time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now.
2 doors.
Look how much fun the past is. I want more. More memories. Oh, yes.
The 2 doors!
Doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory.
Oh, it's a classic. Right door. Oh, they go.
And before everything else, there was your office.
Yep. Wait, my chair
Is there
doesn't
anything else?
exist.
Was there something that came before your office? There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember.
Oh.
Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before
Oh,
this whole
wait.
story got started.
Yo,
Back
the
then,
deep floor?
I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then, somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy. And I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions, he would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care
I'll
of
take
myself.
care of
I don't
myself.
need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know
Hey,
what?
yo.
Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley.
Nah,
one
we got
more
another
run for
hour or
office, and
so.
then I'll retire him for good.
So we're not. No. We got more runs in us.
Okay, here we go. This is the story.
Just
of a
go
man
out and
named
touch grass,
Stanley.
talk to women, Mr. Narrator. Oh no, the narrator's being roasted. Alright.
All of his
Why won't he
coworkers
talk
knew
about our
what did it mean.
bumpscosity? Maybe I have to make my bumpscosity like tiny.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed. The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
Cena!
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his
What the
chest
14
and
months?
entered the door. of
It's
his
been
life.
14 months? Whoa, that's like half a year.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office. was
Cena,
where he'd
you
find a coming.
you literally just missed like 20 minutes ago. We were watching the new season trailer
To a
for
staircase.
Overwatch with the
Stanley
ranked
and the
stuff.
bucket walked upstairs to the boss's
You just
office.
missed it. I'm excited.
But Stanley just
I'm
couldn't do it.
personally, I'm
He
excited
considered
for the
possibility
ranks
of facing
changes.
his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for
Like, I'm
that.
actually
In
planning, I
such a
think next
competitive
Thursday I
economy,
might try to get
why
a
had he taken
team
that
together to
risk?
just play some
Only
ranked.
because he believed
It's, yeah,
everyone
it's a
had
full
vanished.
reset and a
His boss would think he was
rework.
crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley.
Yeah, Philip wants the Moira skin.
Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He
We're
looked down at the
crazy.
bucket in his arms. Am I crazy?
Are we crazy?
He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze.
Wait, why
and
is my
said
bucket not
nothing more.
talking to me?
That's strange, Stanley thought.
No, I
Usually a
haven't,
bucket is a
Cena.
source of
I'll look at
guidance
him
and
after stream
wisdom
if you want to
for
send me a
in
link.
difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close,
Oh,
yet felt
no.
none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal...
But it's my
everyday
bucket! It says
someone
property of
else's
me!
bucket,
Where's my
perhaps. How
bucket?
did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong.
Where's my bucket?
Surely
Oh,
no good would come
my
from this.
bucket!
Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might
Bucket!
experience without the psychologically
Where's my
grounding presence of his
bucket?
bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground.
Oh,
Oh, gracious.
I'm a
he
wizard?
exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad.
I need the
Where is
bucket.
it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me! The bucket!
Where's my bucket?
Truly. He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket.
Wait,
after
where's the
next.
one with the
None of
stickers?
them were his. None of them were
Where's
his
my
special
bucket?
Come to me, Stanley!
Where's my bucket?
Find me!
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his
Where's my
sanity.
bucket?
And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been
Oh
coming from.
no.
The real bucket was
I'm a
inside
bucket
him
now.
all along.
Chad, I'm a
It was
bucket.
incredibly painful.
Oh no.
Stanley doubled over in agony.
Now the narrator's the only non-bucket. I became
This is the
bucket.
story of a woman named Mariella.
Oh god, Mariella's back.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work.
She
But on
has
this
a
particular
bucket now.
day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no
Alright,
bucket.
here,
Of course he'd gone mad. ranting and raving about a
It's
narrator
leaked on a
describing all of
repost
his
stream.
actions and
Oops.
how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket.
Ah, yeah, I lost my bucket.
Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute
I want my
guidance
bucket
and
back.
total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself.
My
My
life
life
kicks
kicks ass.
out.
And she backflipped all the way to work.
Why did she backflip to work?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
Where do I want to go? I gotta go this way.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here.
Don't get fired,
Stanley
chat.
needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet.
Oh, he doesn't
simply
have
because
these
I have no
stickers.
remaining stickers. If I did, you can guarantee we'd be in here. Coming to a staircase,
He doesn't
Stanley
have
and the
any more
bucket walked upstairs
stickers.
to the boss's office.
Alright.
Stepping into his manager's office,
What?
Stanley
Why is it my manager's office? I thought it
once
was my
again
boss's
stunned to
office.
discover not an indication of any human life.
Why is the
Crushed by
4
the
not
weight of this
registering?
revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer
Yep,
luck.
that's me.
Was it that the bucket knew all along?
Come
Was the
in.
bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
So yesterday was like the non-bucket endings, and now today's just like bucket endings for the most part. I think that's what we're going on. Today's endings were
Stanley
a
and the
bucket.
bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Alright.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both. But just as Stanley was about to proceed further into the mind control facility, he tripped and fell over the railing and into the dark void below. Thankfully, he fell directly onto the bucket, which safely cushioned his fall. Now, what to do next? Stanley wondered. Stanley and the bucket could find no way out of this enormous pit, and so eventually they decided that the best thing to do would be to simply get comfortable down here. So they set up a little couch and relaxed. It really wasn't so bad down here, a bit cold perhaps. After some time had gone by, they installed a few shelves as well, and a sort of kitchenette that was useful for when the bucket was craving paninis.
You said the
But
thing.
it wasn't until the rugs and the standing lamps came in that it really started to feel like a home. In fact, after some time, Stanley realized that it had been ages since he had even thought of the mind control facility at all. He'd never gotten to fully explore what was up there, never been able to unearth the many mysteries of the mind control facility. This lack of closure began to eat at him. Soon he was dwelling on his regrets, and the state of their home slowly decayed as Stanley became withdrawn and neglected the cleaning. It unsettled the bucket deeply. Stanley wasn't usually like this. The bucket tried to reach out to him again and again, but to no avail.
Oh, it's my favorite
All
channel.
Stanley could think about, all he could talk about, was going back, doing it over again, staying on the path. It was a mistake to leave the path. It was a mistake. It was a mistake. I need to do what the narrator says. I need to see the true ending. This made no sense at all to the bucket, which was simply trying to live its life down here as comfortably as possible. Yet Stanley was unconsolable.
Don't tell
This
me the
isn't an
bucket
ending.
leaves me.
This is just a hole in the ground.
This is literally an ending.
Bucket sighed. True, it wasn't an ending, but it's where we happen to be. And maybe, possibly, if we accept the reality of things, maybe this will become an ending eventually. It's what the bucket was counting on. The two of them waited for a very long time.
Is that just the end? Alright.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting.
Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest.
We're just
and
going
the door
through.
on
We're
his
just.
left.
We're going.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley
it's
and
my
the bucket
boss's
walked
office.
upstairs to the boss's office.
Yeah. Boss's office.
Stepping into his manager's
Why does it
office,
change to my
Stanley was
manager's
once again
office?
stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
I'm gonna come back up. That's my plan. Let's see what this. How does this change? Going up.
Wait, Stanley said to the bucket.
Can we go back up?
When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again. The bucket said nothing.
Oh, Bucket's not interested in the number 3. But I am. I want to see the number 3. Number 3. Number 3.
Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket. Well, he said, the number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the bucket.
Does the
How
bucket
was
not
this not as
care?
exciting to the bucket as
But
it
the
was to
number
him?
3 is awesome.
Once Stanley had had enough of the number 3, he got back in the elevator.
Alright, but what if I come back up again?
Perhaps the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley
Yo, I
got from
was
slamming the
slamming
number 3
that number 3.
repeatedly.
Boop, 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 boop. Alright.
No, said Stanley to the bucket. You can't go on yet. Not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together, and I just want you to see what I see. Feel the happiness I feel. He smiled at the bucket, and the bucket said nothing.
Oh! Bucket hates me. What the fuck, Bucket? Why don't you like the number 3 like I do? God damn you, Bucket.
Here we go, said Stanley. This time I'll really
Yeah.
show you. He ran to the number 3 and began to wail on it like a musician on a beloved instrument, weaving a concerto of truth and passion.
Yeah, we're gonna
He
wail on
wielded
it.
the number 3 like a fine artist would wield a paintbrush. He told stories through the number 3, stories of his dreams and hopes and fears. And the whole time, he looked to his bucket for a reaction of some kind. Anything to let him know that the bucket appreciated what he was doing. The bucket conveyed absolutely nothing at all, only silence. Crushed by a wave of dejection, Stanley returned to the elevator.
The Bucket doesn't like the number 3. My Bucket's
Stanley and the
worst.
bucket were so close. They'd always been there for one another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's? The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend.
We're going
Surely there
slow.
was a solution, mustn't there be?
Okay, we're fading to black. Is this gonna be the stupid... Oh wait, yeah, no. Oh. Do we know?
Stanley, I know what to do.
We're doing
I
it.
know how to fully express this feeling in my heart. He decided right then and there that he would hold a press conference.
I'm
where he
holding a
would speak
press
to the
conference
public
on the number
all
3.
matters relating to pressing the number 3 over and over. He would elaborate fully on what the number 3 meant to him and why he felt so alive when pressing it. Then the bucket
Yeah, the
would be
number
able to
3.
see his joy through the eyes of others. It would get to see the world react to this discovery of Stanley's. And it would be through the public eye that the bucket would finally understand Stanley's work. For months, he advertised
Back
and
here.
marketed his press conference, building excitement around it, developing and rehearsing it, until it couldn't be refined a single measure further.
Oh no.
When the big day arrived, Stanley was as prepared as he'd ever been.
Why was that a
anything in his life.
Minecraft door? It's a Minecraft door. What the?
This was it. One last chance to win the bucket over.
3.
One
3,
opportunity
3,
to share a
3,
true
3,
connection
3,
with a loved
3.
one.
The guy who made pizza here? Yo, this dude's my hero. I said that yesterday. That dude's my hero. Alright.
There was no one here. Nobody had come to the press conference to hear Stanley speak,
What is this?
to listen to him talk about what it
What
really
really means to press
press
number
the
3 on
number
the
3
keypad
on
over and
keypad
over.
over
Presented
and
by
over.
Stanley.
He was unloved, uninteresting, he was a failure. And in that moment, Stanley knew that the bucket would never again take him seriously. There would be no connection, no deeper understanding. The bucket merely sat there in his arms, indifferent. And so it began that slowly, over many years, the two of them grew more and more distant. They spoke less and less, neither wishing to state the obvious, that any sense of real respect between them had eroded since that day at the press conference. There would be no more games, no more long conversations about passion and pursuit, only a silence that consumed the space between friends. And Stanley,
Good
having
afternoon,
for once in his
Gurnett.
life discovered
I'm
the
doing
warmth
good.
and comfort of true companionship,
We're,
was cast back into the unremarkable normalcy of
we're talking about the
loneliness.
number 3 right now and how nobody cares about the number 3 like me. Oh, and I'm dead. I mean, Sag. Number 3 is the best number, clearly. What? Huh?
All of his co-workers
What
were
the
gone.
f-
What could it mean? The good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket. Off on and Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned
I'm
out
really-
to be correct? No, never mind.
I'm-
The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Quick restart. I'm
No,
calling a quick
Said the
restart.
bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go
Yeet.
somewhere else.
But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
Oh my god, bro. Oh,
Hi, Stanley. Just wanted to leave you a message to let you know there's a few things I need you to pick up on your way home from
chat, take
work.
notes.
We need milk, cereal, dish soap, spaghetti, get a thing of sugar, some bread, and coffee beans, whichever ones you like. I'll give you a call if there's anything I forgot. Thanks, sweetie. See you tonight.
Why'd they call this person and not me?
Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be
No,
correct?
the bucket
No,
was wrong.
Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No.
Said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift.
Yes,
Good.
going to the cargo lift.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the phone.
Whoa, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone? Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking.
Oh no.
Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things. Buckets can't talk. It was a joke.
Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket.
Oh.
Can't you see? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke? Should I have paused for longer?
Am I
or
gonna get
spoken
another
quicker?
video?
Oh, comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it. But there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh, wait, yes,
Oh,
there is.
come on.
It's sitting right here. Let's take a
Oh,
look.
great. Alright, take notes, chat.
What is comedic timing? What is comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds? Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is yes. Let's dive deeper. If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in all likelihood, you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body. These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time. With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half, pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm Dunny with the funny." Let's practice screaming, "I'm Dunny with the funny" now.
Yeah, Philip, that's what I was thinking. I'm
Good.
never done with the
This
fun.
saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times, just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, we're each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invader who threaten our very existence, and to very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles. All of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme.
Hey, goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it? Well, no matter. I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then.
Okay.
So with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come along, let's head back.
Oh! Why did
I can feel it.
Why do we
This
have the
time,
guardrails
I'm
on?
really going to nail the delivery. You'll be in stitches. A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous. How absurd. What a hilarious
What a
concept. The king
hilarious
of
concept.
comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we had the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now. Well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure. The bucket spoke to Stanley.
The bucket spoke.
The bucket spoke. Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink things.
What is happening? Can I like... Oh, I can't close. I wanted to lock myself in the employee lounge. Alright. Back at the 2 doors.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
I go to the right. What?
What? We're back at the phone already. No. What's going on? There were supposed to be several rooms leading up to this. There was supposed to be a build-up to this point. A dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit which culminates in this scene with the phone. But now the timing's completely off. The joke will never land. Or not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately after the 2.
Yeah, how'd you forget?
What an egregious mistake.
How would you forget?
I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing. I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp.
Delicious.
I think I need
No,
to go
please.
back.
No. No.
Yes, surely that will help me improve my... Here we go.
Okay.
You ready?
Okay.
When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
We'll go to the left.
No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone. Did you not even look at the instructional video? I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault, Stanley.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers. I'm going to be
Sorry.
shamed at every one of our meetings from now on. All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley? Are you proud?
Oh.
Stanley, you love the bucket so much it's like you... it's as though all of your other most prized possessions pale in comparison.
Okay.
Yes. Well, let me try that again, Stanley. I heard that you are pale with shame over how unabashedly in love with a bucket you are. No? Still not? Is it the delivery? Pale with shame. Pale with shame? Pale... What's another word to describe a bucket? Stanley, this bucket is so metal, I think I saw it playing guitar.
Okay.
No. We're getting away from making fun of Stanley's obsession with the bucket, which was the whole point of this. I'm no good at these jokes. I need more instructional videos. That's exactly what it is. That's what will make me the king of comedy again. More instructional videos. Let's see.
That was an... Who let their cat into the office? Why are the papers everywhere?
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time.
Why are there papers everywhere? Who did this? Okay, the paper's in here. I kind of want to try this ending.
A good bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket, a bucket of culture and distinction.
Oh, I can't go back in there. What if I go over to this one? Oh, I can't. My eyes.
Yes, whispered the bucket into Stanley's ear. We've done it. We've escaped from that dull office and that pesky narrator. At last, out here in the white void, we are alone.
It's
now,
a
and
white
for the
void.
first time, I can reveal to you my true self. the bucket began to tell Stanley of its life and its history,
Oh.
of the countless wars it witnessed, desecrating the land and lives of untold numbers of innocent humans, and the bucket's own complicity therein, of sadness and regret, and the many years it spent dwelling on the actions it might have taken to curb the madness and the decay, if only it had been stronger, of hope and redemption, and its crusade to uplift the stock of life for the common man, to manifest justice where none existed, and the bittersweet reality of time, to see one's dreams and wishes met halfway, meted out in parcels like charity, and abandoned as soon as the warm glow of inspiration begins to dim. The opportunities to do so much more. There was so much it could have done, perhaps, the bucket wondered to itself.
Oh, no.
Perhaps if it had seen its own darkness with a clearer perception. This was way too much for Stanley.
What are you talking about?
He screamed.
You're a bucket!
Fucking
To this,
bucket.
the bucket furrowed its brow.
No,
Said the bucket.
not since the evil wizard Gambhorata first ensnared me in his machinations as payback for the sacred amulet I stole from his treasured vaults.
What?
I was young back
you
then
talking
and could not
about?
conceive the ramifications of.
Stanley screamed even louder this time.
This is stupid! You are a bucket! This is so stupid! Why are we even doing this?
As Stanley screamed and screamed and screamed, the bucket revealed its true form, transforming into a mighty beast of untold power, its fangs glistening like...
What? Am I? Who's fighting the bucket? What happened? Is that the bucket?
God, Stanley, you
The
did it! You
bucket!
saved us from the bucket. Thank God you already had all 12 emblems of sages and knew the incantations to summon their true power.
What?
Otherwise,
Was
we
that
would have
English?
easily been overwhelmed by the bucket's power. I'm speechless. You've demonstrated such bravery here today. Come, let's restart
Community
the game,
lighting
and we'll agree to
anomalies.
never again go trifling with this
Lighting
bucket,
anomaly.
nor the dark magic cast
I
away
love
inside
Unity.
of it.
Sorry. What was he talking about? I killed the bucket? No, I didn't. That was some other guy. Nope, not me.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
You know what I want to say? What if I go to the menu? I was wondering if this would show up. The epilogue's here. Go to the epilogue. Time. It's time for the epilogue. Many, many years later. How many years? Many? Many? Oh god, we're back in the void. Where do I go? I don't know where I'm supposed to be going. Okay, okay. No, really? I'm leaving that fire. Who needs the fire? I'm journeying off on my own with my keyboard noises. Oh. It's a bit windy out. Why so windy? Look at all these office chairs. It's the only thing that survived the fallout. These indestructible office chairs survived the nuclear fallout. This is an interesting epilogue. The memory zone! We're back! That was Elden Ring right back there. We're back to the memory zone! Yeah, I'm gonna turn the breaker on real quick. Oh, the breaker's already on. I'm on the amateur. Got it. What's down here? This is kind of creepy. What is this? Cookie Nine's blog! No, the Cookie Nine apparently liked the original, now he hates too.
Jim.
We've got gym buttons. Gym. Jim.
Stanley.
Wait.
Stanley. Jim. Stanley.
We found a Stanley button. He finally made one for us. What is this? Oh my god. We have 26. We're going in. What's down here? We're in an office now. Computer. Wait. It's main menu person! Oh, there's never gonna be another one. What nonsense. People hate it, who cares? I'm clicking to the link, so how do I show you? We're gonna make the Stanley Parable 3. Oh boy, here we go. This is something loud and gaudy. Go ahead, try combining some random words together. What do we get? The last ever runner. Back on hole. I mean, we. yo, there we. Yeah, you know, I don't think we can find a better one. Stanley Parable 3 Dreams of Horror. It's absurd. I love it. Yo, whole content. Now, the Stanley Parable will never end, and nothing in the game itself will change when you do this either. Adding more cuts doesn't work, and I need to do that. It's just be some kind of recycling and then again with the new titles. When you say she'll go forward with this plan. Let's do it. You see, I'm noticing that the narrator never really give the book achievement, did he? Of course not. I just want to know how. Quit bothering me, let's fix that. Alright, the achievement machine is fixed. We're going to keep this train rolling. I must keep the wheel turning. I'm ready. Are you ready? Yeah, there's one last thing we need to do. Please enter the current time. We're making it accurate. We're being accurate. This is just the spider, isn't it? Barely visible. Thank you. Please enjoy the Stanley Parable. We're back. Dreams. Oh, that's perfect. We don't need to keep doing anymore. Stanley Parable 3 Dreams of Hole is perfect.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had... the embrace of an old friend. A weathered companionship that stands the
We're going back to the
time.
expo hall with our bucket. I want to go get my achievement. Give me my achievement! I wonder what the narrator is going to think about me already having a bucket.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take
Really?
it one step even further.
I forget
Which
which
is
way
why
it is. Is it this
I'm
way?
very proud to announce for the first time ever the Stanley Parable 2.
427. Alright, let's go.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few
We've
minor
already heard
additions?
all this, so
Think
we're
of
just
all
gonna
the
keep
new
going.
territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel, an entirely new experience built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly
new
the
content
Stanley
boss.
Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it.
Yeah.
I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Can I go check out the button that says the name of the player playing the game again? Can I do it? Can I go press the gym
For
button?
the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what
Can
do
I
players
not
really
screw up the
want?
gym button this
And
time?
of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized. Sorry, I
Okay,
should
so we
clarify.
can
Right now,
amend our
the button
past
only says the
mistake
name
and
Jim,
fix the gym
but of
button.
course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role
Okay,
play
let's
as
role
Jim
play as
to
Jim,
really
guys. This
simulate the
time,
full
we're gonna
experience of
let
this
him
feature.
finish.
Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and
Focus,
simply
chat,
become
focus.
a person named Jim.
Or Jim.
I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now?
Oh, I'm Jim.
If so, then please step forward and press the button.
Jim.
Yes! You see? What a thrill! What a rush! That was you! The button described you. Do it again.
That
do it
was
again.
me. I'm Jim.
Jim.
It hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
I don't feel validated enough.
Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much, Jim.
Jim.
I'm putting the Jim button.
No, give me my
Otherwise,
Jim
soon
button.
you'll start to lose all sense of who you actually are.
Jim.
No. I got to be Jim, and now he took away my validation. Can't believe him. The worst. Alright. So, let's go see what he has
I
to say
suppose I
about me
could allow
having
only
them.
people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
I'm gonna go get another bucket. Can I, like, have a bucket in my offhand? Wait. Wrong game. Can I get another bucket? Can I have 2 buckets?
Wait, there are 2 buckets here? How did you get a second bucket? Oh no, the warmth and comfort of a single bucket is already so great, so intoxicatingly wonderful. With 2 buckets, there's no telling. Stanley, can you still hear me? Are you with me? Stanley! Oh, thank God.
Did he blow up the
Stanley,
buckets?
the power of 2 buckets was too much. I had to destroy both of them.
No!
I know how much the bucket meant to you, but I couldn't take the risk. I hope one day.
He blew up
You
the
can forgive me.
bucket! No! You monster! Alright. Test achievement was over here. Test achievements. Can I get another collectible? Out of order, you've been here already. You don't know that. The jump circle. I still have jumps. I should go use my last jumps.
You know what, Stanley? I actually think the jump circle was a pretty good idea. I'd like to hang on to that for the sequel.
Oh, amount of jumps, Sag. No more jumps for me. Alright, free achievement. Let's get it here. Pull the lever, let's go.
Now here's something special.
I'm gonna
You
blow
remember
his
that broken
mind,
test
'cause
achievement
it's
that
gonna
got
work.
left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes, you see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it,
Test
the
achievement,
will
please
leak.
ignore
As
it.
you can see, the machine is not working yet. Since what? Wait, what in the holy hell is going
I got it. Oh, it didn't work.
on? You got the achievement? Why did the machine work? Stanley, I didn't fix it. I didn't do anything to it. I swear, it was broken just a second ago. Who fixed it? Is someone here? Are we being watched? Oh, God. Composure?
He's losing himself.
Yes, as you can see, the machine is working as normal, as I intended. It truly speaks to the awe-inspiring magic of the Stanley Parable 2. Breathe. Just breathe.
He blew up my buckets and now he's losing his shit because I got an achievement.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Now we're good. We've seen them all. I don't have the bucket now, so I don't want to. Maybe. Should I go
Calling it the
back
Stanley
to
Parable
the.
2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe.
How do I
What does it even
get
mean?
to
But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic
Red
statement
Champion.
right
Up here?
there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and
It's up here.
innovation and long-term franchising potential. Aha! I can see you've gotten the Settings World Champion achievement. Well done.
Yeah,
You've
it's my first one,
experienced
actually.
every setting. Travel to all corners of the settings menu.
'Cause I knew
There's
about it.
nothing you haven't seen. So, just for you, in the Stanley Parable 2, I'm
My
including an entirely new
bumpscosity.
setting. Something called bumpscosity. What exactly is
You'll figure it out.
bumpscosity? Well, I haven't quite figured that part out yet, but I just know that you'll be able to adjust it on some sort of slider, and that it'll be available from the settings menu. We'll sort the rest of the details out later. I
Yeah.
hope you're looking forward to trying out every level of bumpscosity in the Stanley Parable. All right, have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Yep. We're going up.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features?
We'll watch
Yes, I
him
know
present
it's not
us one more
exactly
time.
clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going
Show
to
us.
work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere.
Give us the deets.
Let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these
Yeah,
new
arrange
features
them.
together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience.
Do
Okay. Are you ready? Here
Yeah.
it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Well, why'd the.
Well,
Why'd the balloons
there's potential
change?
here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable
Yep.
and simply,
Big no
well,
shit.
insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
I don't think that's what he had in mind for me to see. Alright.
This is the story of a man named
Yeah, we
Stanley.
know the story of the man named Stanley. We've been here. I think we've seen most
All
of
of
the
his
endings, I think,
co-workers
at this
were
point.
gone. What could it
I'm
mean?
just gonna try a couple
Stanley
more
decided to go
ones.
to the meeting room. The bucket made Stanley want to be a better man and a better co-worker. In time, perhaps, he would become both of those things. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting
We're gonna
room.
try a couple
But
other
Stanley had
ones.
felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct?
No, the bucket was wrong.
Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes.
Oh.
Go there.
We're going down here. Oh, it's a cutscene.
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure?
What's...
I can monetize
We're
it.
monetizing the bucket?
It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that?
Uh-oh.
Who's there?
What is happening? Oh, that's the dude who, like, possessed the bucket or something. That when we... Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, no, never
Even
mind.
now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall.
Go check. You're confusing me.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his... Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way. Not everyone is so lucky to have a bucket, but Stanley is a very lucky fellow. Very lucky indeed.
Oh, I'm so lucky.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was
Bucket
wrong.
was wrong.
Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the
The
bucket.
cargo lift.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yeah. Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Okay.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
What if I change my mind? Can I just like...
In here, said the bucket. Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
I was hoping it would just let me go back. Alright, what's going on over here? I'll pick up the phone this time.
Now pick up the...
Pick it up.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
It's my bucket. Oh, Stan, it's me, your bucket. Press I to take me to work with you.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Press Y to take me back home with you.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
Press Y to go back to work.
Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one
You
location
shut
to
your
a different
mouth.
location. That's it.
My
It doesn't
bucket is
do
important.
anything else.
Don't listen to the loud man and press Q for us to go back home.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once
That's
upon a
my
time
bucket.
it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
Wow. He's jealous. Don't ignore anyone in your life except for me.
It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine.
Don't you dare. My bucket. You believe I'm real, don't you? Press B to go back home.
Yes, I
Where's my
suppose on
bucket?
closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store
Don't
bucket.
you dare take
It's
my
just a
bucket
little
back.
more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Press K to relive the same day with me over and over.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally
bucket.
just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Press N to go home to work to home to work to home. That hurt my head.
Oh no. I'm having feelings for the
God.
bucket. No,
Mood
no,
lighting?
no. What's going on? Why do I want
Oh,
to be
boy.
with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be
I'm
less
stuck.
confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do
No,
in
you
this
don't.
troublesome situation.
Don't take my
Stanley,
bucket. No.
give me the bucket.
No.
Give it to me.
No.
Give me the bucket, Stanley.
My
I
bucket.
need it.
No.
Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
No. What happened? Go back to work, Stanley. Uh-oh. Where'd my bucket? Where bucket?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. It takes a lot of humility to carry a bucket so magnificent. Stanley checked his ego and then proceeded onward.
There's not a blue hallway.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
What happened? Go here.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Sure.
And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the
Nope,
opposite
we're going
door.
down here. Down here is where we go.
Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
It's the
You see,
line!
your
yeah.
friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much.
I never
It's
did
this
that, did I?
bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content.
It's my
We're the ones
favorite.
that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the
Adventure Line
Broom Closet.
TM.
Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who
Like
gave you
the
the
bucket,
bucket, but
though.
you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line?
No.
We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
Okay.
Whee! Look at that wacky line.
Look where
Who
it goes,
knows where it'll
Steven.
go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well. Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great
What?
jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this.
Okay.
But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
I'm not giving up the bucket. You can't make me! I guess I could get rid of the bucket.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket.
What is
That's
this?
why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable.
It's your
True, it
bucket
also
to
was not in the
destroy.
original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
No.
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with
Yeah, I
complexity
can't
and
give it the
nuance
bucket,
that it's really
even if I
like
want
10
to.
personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about?
Uh-oh.
The broom closet? Certainly not.
Uh-oh.
I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring
Uh-oh.
for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it.
I
We can't
can't.
get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are
Uh-oh.
waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give
Uh-oh.
the fans what they want. Hurry and...
Oh. The game blew up. Game machine broke. It's just the Bucket Destroyer in a void.
The Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Rip the Bucket Destroyer. You couldn't take my bucket from me, bucko. Right, well, I feel like there's not much left to do. Do we just run it back the OG way one last time?
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of
Nope.
it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
He's slowing me down. Well, we got this.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Gotta go fast.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held?
Because otherwise he'll make me listen
What
to
he could
calming
not have
new
known
age
was that
music.
the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code.
Oh, I thought he was
by
gonna get
sheer
mad.
luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Gotta go. We gotta go. Come on, let me in.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control
Let me
Facility.
in.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Yep.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Me through.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature
Where's
revealed.
Pirate?
Each bore the number of
Pirate.
an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers.
So
The
on
lives of so
my-
many individuals reduced
Here?
to images on a screen, and
One more?
Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where
Oh, it's a
freedom
level
meant
off, it looks
nothing.
like. I'm right
This
there.
mind control facility,
That's me.
it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be
Right
true.
there.
Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his
Yeah.
emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He
I
couldn't accept it.
refuse.
His own life
I'm
in
in
someone else's
control.
control?
Yeah.
Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
I'm sorry, but the best
There was
ending
proof.
so
The heart
far
of the operation
was
controls labeled with emotions.
the
happy or
Is
sad
This a
or
Bucket
content.
game show. That was
Walking,
probably
eating,
my favorite.
working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of
Where's
his
off-
past
office
began
left?
to sink in, Stanley
Off.
blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty.
I don't know where I
Was
am.
it
I'm just
over?
auto walking.
Yes, he had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been
Let
seeking,
me
but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know.
It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Woohoo! Stanley was happy. Good night. He never once commented on my bumpscosity.
All of his
I was hoping he
co-workers were
would.
gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement?
I already got the achievement.
All of his co-workers were
Really
gone.
don't want my bumpscosity.
What could it mean?
Fine. At the menu. Let's go back to the dreams of us. It's a little shorter than yesterday, but I think on that note, with Stanley Parable 3 now fully explored. No wait. No, we want to leave it on this. I was gonna say we could maybe make a new version, but I think we're good. We're gonna leave it there. Thank you everyone for hanging out. Thank you again for Cena for the 14-month resub earlier. That's crazy. No stream coming to you tomorrow. Friday is currently now a bit up in the air. It'll either be Tarkov Arena or Tarkov or something Tarkov, or I might have to swap it around because it seems like there's less and less people who are going to be around. So don't want to solo Tarkov or Arena. So we're gonna have to play it by ear. I'm gonna have to do some looking around. Thank you everyone for hanging out. Stanley Parable is a funny game. It's just so funny. It's always makes me laugh at the stupidity that it has. But we'll go from there. Thank you for everyone showing up. Friday, late night stream. Not sure exactly what it's going to be. We'll find out. Have a good one. I'm out of here. Peace.